Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar vs. Trevor here. I'm joined by Thomas, and we are talking about the supporting categories here. Supporting actor, supporting actress. We've done videos for all the other categories about line, picture, director, writing, the lead acting categories. But we're talking about supporting, which I think are the hardest to call this far out.
Definitely, because a lot of these supporting categories are just based on the film and their performance in the film, which is obvious to say, but in a way that it's kind of not for lead. Like you can sort of pinpoint if this is a big film and they're the lead actor in the big film, sure. Supporting, you can sometimes get lone noms, you get double noms where you're not expecting it. So, I mean, these are really sort of
we've been saying this whole time, but it's vibes. We know nothing, just like the rest of you. We know what films, some of the films that have been good, but that's about it. So, let's just jump into it. Let's get into supporting actor, where we have Kieran Culkin. We have the film winning Best Picture. We have it winning Screenplay, and if it's going to get that Coda Green Book package, this makes sense. And Kieran Culkin, we've both seen the film. He's doing a lot in it. We both weren't necessarily in love with the film in the same way that I think a lot of other people are really in love with the film. But it makes sense as a picture winner to us. And if it's winning picture, Kieran absolutely comes along. And I'd be happy for him. I mean, obviously, we both love Succession. So we'd be here for Kieran as an Oscar winner. Not for this performance.
Exactly. I wasn't even not only was I not in love with the film, I also wasn't in love with the performance in general.
Yeah.
But I can
we're also in the vast minority here. I feel like we're arguing against ourselves. Like everybody else that's seen it seems to love it.
Exactly, and I can see why you would pinpoint his performance. Like just on a personal anecdote, I've watched a interview with Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin about A Real Pain. I don't remember why exactly I ended up clicking on that YouTube video, but I did not like A Real Pain. I just wanted to see Kieran Culkin on speak, and so I think a lot of people will be like that as well. If you can wheel him out at award ceremonies, make him do award speeches, I think
he's gonna go and say, like, if you pair him up in actors on actors with I don't know, Isabella Rossellini or throw him in there with Lady Gaga.
His Emmy speeches. Like everyone loved his Emmy speeches. That man can give a speech, can stir up a crowd.
Incredibly charismatic.
So he wins a Golden Globe. If say that's where he starts, and then bang, 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 bang. I think this one is one that could go all the way and could end up being a sweeper.
Yeah. But I think we should also mention Clarence Macklin. Massive narrative, apparently also incredible. We haven't been able to see Sing Sing yet, but apparently he's just phenomenal in the film. Could easily just see him also developing a narrative, taking it.
Yep. I mean, his major problem is maybe he's overshadowed a bit by Coleman Domingo. I haven't seen the film.
And also not a name in the same way that Culkin is.
Exactly. So I think those are problems for him. But if Sing Sing is winning picture, I think there is a massive case to be made that he can take this one.
Yeah. So, and then also the favorite for a lot of people that I've seen is Samuel L. Jackson. And I get it. Let's give Samuel L. Jackson an Oscar. It's criminal that he doesn't have one. But this does feel like the Beatty type of thing that everybody predicts at the beginning, that just I don't know. It's easy to predict these things at the beginning, but you need passion. And I don't think that Samuel Jackson, for the piano lesson, which is potentially going to be Netflix's second fiddle here, is going to have passion in the same way that I think Clarence Macklin and Kieran Culkin are going to have passion. And I think that Samuel Jackson will probably get nominated for this, but I'm not entirely convinced of him winning.
Yeah, because career narratives only work if a performance is also there for it. People really like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. It wasn't just, let's give Leonardo DiCaprio an Oscar. Obviously, there was that to an extent. Jamie Lee Curtis as well. It was such a distinctive performance, whereas I'm just not sure the passion will quite be there for Samuel
Jackson. And that movie also won Best Picture.
That movie also had a bunch of other factors that led to that career win.
Yeah, The Revenant was a top 3 movie for Best Picture. We don't even have a piano lesson getting nominated.
Exactly, I think that is the major problem, that the film, that it will be hampered by.
I feel fine about a nomination, but I'm not convinced. And I'm sure it'll be good in the movie, but it doesn't feel like a winner to me.
I'm not sure. And
then we always have a double nomination. Always happens. At this point, the one that makes the most sense is for Conclave to get it with the Tucci, Stanley Tucci, and John Lithgow. They're both names. They make sense, from what I've heard. They have strong characters in the book that they could do a lot with. They're obviously both very talented actors. Edward Berger is a good, even if I didn't love All Quiet on the Western Front, I do think that he is a very competent filmmaker, and he'll probably be able to put them in, there's going to be lots of close-ups in this movie. There's going to be a lot of monologues. Like it's going to be a thing that will serve these performances very, very well.
Yeah, and it's a type of thing where I can see through the award season, maybe one just bumps out the other, and we just end up not talking about Stanley Tucci at all, or we end up just not talking about John Lithgow at all. Maybe that happens, but
if we have to say a double.
Right now, exactly. We want to see a double, and let's just gamble on it being that. And let's not take the risk of predicting Stanley Tucci and then it ends up being John Lithgow or vice versa.
Not that predicting in July is a risk in any way, but
No, of course. When I say risk, I mean it's not really a risk at all. Really, we'd only be losing like 1% of our dignity if we less than that.
If that. Yeah.
Either way, let's just predict these both because, like, we're looking at some of the other contenders. A lot of them are quite young, which is the problem. They often, especially
they're quite young, or they're just simply Denzel Washington.
That is true. Yeah, you got Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal. We've got in the top 10 as sort of
for Gladiator
picks. Maybe Denzel seems to happen in whatever the fuck you put him in. So
yeah, like Denzel is simply Denzel and one of the best actors to ever live, and like 100%. You throw him in a villain role, and it's like sure. Maybe, but we're committing to no Gladiator above the line. So he's just outside, and then Pedro Pascal is just like, I guess people like him. And then but Pedro Pascal honestly is kind of interchangeable with me for Austin Butler. I feel like they're kind of going to be on a similar level. We don't have Austin Butler in this 10. If anybody gets nominated from Dune anywhere in the season, it's going to be Austin Butler. He's definitely the most, I think, acclaimed performance from the film. But I just don't see Dune getting acting nominations.
And the performance is like weird. It's not like, wow, look what Austin Butler's doing. It's like
it's not like he had this incredible monologue where you
it's just you're quite a weird presence throughout.
Yeah,
exactly. Which often those kind of performances aren't the ones that get major attention. And as I said, Jeremy Pope for the collaboration, maybe I think he will be overshadowed a little bit by Paul Bettany.
But I mean, he's playing John Michael Boscawen in an Anthony McCartan written film. We've talked about that. We talked about it a bit more extensively in our lead actor video, where we have Paul Bettany in the lineup. Jeremy Pope obviously was very good in The Inspection.
Very good.
So and he got some attention for that. I believe he got a Globe nom. But this does feel like maybe one where he's in the conversation, maybe picks up a nomination or two in precursors, but just misses out. But certainly worth bringing up. Drew Starkey for Queer. I mean, like, I don't know. This is one where a lot of people have just kind of latched onto this as an idea. And, like, it does just kind of make sense to me where, like, he could, if the film is really good, I could easily see a world where he comes along.
Yeah, although the interesting thing about supporting acting categories is often they like the smaller moments and actors to not be in it that much. I think if Drew Starkey is like sort of, is he lead, is he supporting? I think that could really hurt his chances in both categories. And he's not really a name, which doesn't always hamper supporting acting noms, but I'm not sure. I think Queer will be a big player. I'm not sure it'll be a big player in the way that it would need to be in order for Drew Starkey to get it.
And then there's Harris Dickinson, Blitz. This is one where even if Blitz is massive, I'm not entirely convinced that he's going to be coming along.
I think Ronan comes first, and I think McQueen and Director comes first. I don't think he is high up on the list of.
And considering we don't think that Blitz is going to be that strong of a player overall, we don't even have it in Picture and Director, and we don't have Ronan in. He certainly, I think, is low on our list. But he's here because, like, the options aren't great. Like, Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice, not convinced that movie's coming out. Apparently, he's the standout from what I've heard.
But I've heard they're both good. I've not heard individual talk about him, which is the problem. I've always heard him and Stan are quite good, and that's not good for a supporting acting category. I would also just like to see Harris Dickinson get a nom. Like, that would be fun. So
no, for sure. I mean, he deserved one for Triangle of Sadness, to be honest. So and then elsewhere, like, some people have Paul Rossi and Sing Sing. I've heard that he isn't the player in this, and that people are doing it simply because Sound of Metal. But he's there. Chris Hemsworth Furious is not going to happen. Brian Tyree Henry, The Fire Inside. if that movie is really good.
I don't know. I even think that's just like, wow, he managed to get in for Causeway. I think he got in for Causeway, and that's it. Like, probably for him.
There's a pretty harsh drop off, I think, in this category after you get out of honestly the top 9, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah. Into supporting actress. So a lot of people have Deadweiler and Anjanou Ellis Taylor up as their top 2. We're going for Rossellini. Now, this is a bit of a swing, but I could see if Conclave is very good, and she is very good in this film, we could see why the fuck not? Let's give Isabella Rossellini an Oscar because she doesn't have one, and that's weird. She's only been nominated once, and Isabella Rossellini is just one of those names who I think everybody just respects, and I think everybody would be happy to see her get an Oscar.
No, for sure. Because I mean, you look at we don't have a piano lesson in picture, we don't have Nickel Boys in picture. We're just skeptical as to their chances overall.
Yeah, and we have them 2 and 3. We think they could certainly happen if
I still think they're getting noms. I still think
they're definitely getting nominations, and if they're the standouts in the film and they become undeniable, then why not? I'm not opposed at all to the idea of Danielle Deadweiler, Anjanou Ellis Taylor. I think it'll be great to see Danielle Deadweiler getting a nomination after the snub for Till. I think there will definitely be an energy there for them. I don't know. Isabella Rossellini, I can just imagine in my head as a winner more.
Exactly. It just seems to make sense, and especially if she can cut through. Like if it's a big ensemble, Conclave, whatever, but she is the one that cuts through. And again, this is a gamble. We are predicting the reception quite in depth to a film that we have no idea what it's going to be like. So. There's a very good chance she isn't even nominated, and all the passion is just drawn to Ray Fiennes and John Lithgow or etc. But why not? Why not run it a shot? It's July. I don't want to do films that we don't even have in Best Picture, so why not?
Sure. Yeah. Even though that has happened with supporting category, that does happen.
It has, but Nickel Boys, really?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And then we have Julianne Moore here for The Room Next Door,
which I could see her winning, to be honest. I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah, I think that she's in this winning conversation with the top 4. I feel good about The Room Next Door. We've talked about this in the other, but we have this getting picture, director, screenplay, Tilda, and Julianne Moore, and I think that so many people are overlooking this film. I think it's gonna be pretty strong. If we're assuming that a Pedro Almodovar, an English language Pedro Almodovar film distributed by Warner Brothers is going to be good, which we are. It's Pedro. Yeah. Why can't this be a very, very big player and not win anything, but just be very solidly in for a lot of above the line nominations? It's Julianne Moore. I don't know. Sure. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense.
No, exactly. For all the reasons you mentioned, nothing much more to add.
Zoe,
indeed.
Listen, this could be this cast is weird. There's a lot of different players in it. They gave just all of them Best Actress at Cannes, but it seems like Gaston is the lead and Zoe Saldana would be supporting. It would be nice to see Zoe Saldana getting a nomination. She's another one of those figures that I just think is respected. And I think that people would like to see her, getting this awards attention. And I am fully behind that. If the film is big, if it is a Netflix player.
I mean, Netflix are great at campaigning actors and actresses. They're good at that.
Not for wins, but definitely for the
nominations. Exactly. So, as you say, maybe it's Selena Gomez instead that gets in. But either way,
Selena Gomez couldn't get nominated for one of the biggest comedy shows of the last couple of years. She got snubbed both times. I feel like if you're gonna pinpoint one, it's gonna be Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, and maybe they split award ceremonies. I could see Selena Gomez maybe getting SAG and Zoe Saldana missing out then. But still, I think it would maybe switch at the actual Academy Awards to.
Yeah, if you're Netflix's darling, which we're saying that Emilia Perez is going to be Netflix's #1 for the year, I just think I don't know. I think that it gets at least an acting nomination, and since we have Gosselin at 6. I would feel good about Saldana getting in here as the 5. But we also have Leslie Manville in Queer, which I certainly wouldn't write off. If Queer is a strong contender,
Yeah.
Why can't Leslie Manville
I
happen?
think it really depends on how much she's in the film.
Yeah.
If she's not in the film very much, I don't think it will happen. If she's a big part of the film, I can easily see it. So yeah, that's
Absolutely.
really just what it comes down to at this stage. Like I'm sure the performance will be good. She's a very respected actress. So
Yeah, absolutely. Then we got, I mean, Toni Collette, your number 2, kind of a similar case. Toni Collette, obviously fantastic actress, very well respected. She's a supporting, character in a Clint Eastwood like courtroom drama. If she's got a lot to do, sure, maybe this happens, but I'm just, I'm not confident in Clint Eastwood in his current
no,
old age.
I'm not confident in the film in general. However, having said that, if anything will happen for this film, I think it will be
I think it
her.
would be
And
Toni.
I could see it being a low nomination for the film, even.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. But I just think it's safer to predict other stuff at this point. I don't think there's any real. I don't think we should just gamble on juror number 2 when just because
Yeah,
it's a Clint Eastwood
there's
courtroom
safer
drama.
options at this point.
When
Yeah.
like courtroom dramas aren't sure things, Clint Eastwood is far from a sure
Far
thing
from
at this point in his career. So like, remember he made Cry Macho. You
Mhm.
probably didn't remember that. I imagine
No,
most
I
people
watched
probably
it.
didn't remember that. I don't know why you watched it.
I have no fucking clue why I watched that shit,
Yeah.
but I remember listening to a podcast about it while riding the Next Best Picture podcast review of it while riding my bike in the rain during COVID and just being very sad and depressed.
That's hilarious.
And that is my memory of that movie.
There we go. Good, good.
Not because I was listening to NBC, just
No, yes, clarify that.
yeah. Fuck you guys. Anyways, no, there's a good review from what I remember. Which isn't much, but his 3 daughters, Carrie Coon or Elizabeth Olsen. Carrie Coon, I've seen a little bit more, so she's probably the one who I'll edit and put on screen. But
Either works. Either
either
works.
works.
I mean, Elizabeth Olsen is a bigger name. Maybe that can help.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the movie from Tiff, but just not entirely convinced on the film as a whole at this point. Selena Gomez, we already mentioned, maybe. And then we have.
That's actually it is worth mentioning that maybe Emilia Perez is a double nom. There's a potential there for it. Like, there's usually a double nom. We're predicting Conclave this year, but maybe it's Emilia Perez, and maybe they both get it.
Maybe. I mean, and then Natasha Lyonne also is potentially supporting. We don't know if she's supporting the lead.
About her,
so she could also be the one here. One of them. Just going back to that, but yeah. And then we have Michelle Austin for Hard Truths as kind of a shout. Yes, it's bleaker, but maybe like Mike Lee. Obviously, very good director, very good actors director. So we have Marion Jean-Baptiste potentially in the actress conversation. So maybe we could see this here. Other options, Joan Chen and Dee Dee, I think is very good. I agree with you that it's probably just because it's one of the few films that people have seen, but I would genuinely love to see it happen. I think that she does, like, she has a moment in the film. She has a monologue in the film that is quite good. If Dee Dee gets any attention, it would be this, and I think it would be deserved. But I would struggle to see it maintaining this throughout the year.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm baffled as to where this love. Like, I thought she was good in the film, but she was not the most memorable part for me at all. So I don't know where this real love for her is coming from, and I just don't think it will happen because I don't think Dee Dee will be anything this awards season.
Sure,
Which is unfortunate.
watch the movie.
Yeah, I really like the film, but
it's a great film.
Yeah, I just am confused as to why she's being pinpointed. I guess it's really more.
I know. I think that one monologue towards the end is quite good. Like,
yeah. I think there are better moments in the film.
But Maria Baklava, The Apprentice, another, like, if The Apprentice even comes out, or like,
I don't even think, even if it's in
yeah,
I don't think she'd come along with it.
So, and that's really it, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our supporting actors thoughts, and this kind of wraps up our early predictions. Yeah. So we have all the videos out if you haven't watched the previous ones, but we have picture, directing, writing, lead acting, and now you're watching the supporting acting one. We'll probably update these in like 2 months around fall festivals.
Probably post fall festivals.
Well, probably post fall festivals. And post us being at college, so the backgrounds will be different. That'll be wild.
Maybe not for me, depending on time.
Well, yeah, it depends on the time. Anyways, yeah, that's it for now. And we'll probably include text when we get into the fall. But yeah, stick around for more reviews. We're going to be doing director tier lists, lots of fun stuff. And obviously, if something interesting happens, like a big category change, like Lily Gladstone last year, something like that, we'll do a video for that. We'll do
Any
video for
emergency news will be
emergency news. And also fall festival news when we get the full
yes.
slates for those, and then we'll be doing recaps not every day because we do not have the time, and we'll be moving into college while fall festivals are happening. So we're not gonna have the time, but we will.
I won't even be able to attend London Film Festival this year, which is
I don't even know if I'll be able to go to Chicago this year. So
it's not happening. It's not happening. So
yeah, so it'll be a bit less with there, but we're going to college. It's gonna be different. The channel's gonna look a little bit different. But yeah, so make sure that you stay tuned for all of that. But until next time, you can follow us on Letterboxd and Twitter if that's something that you're interested in. And until we see you again, stay safe, everybody. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.